Spyro time! Spyro's back. Can't believe it is back. He's here. Got it. It's real. It's actually real. Oh my god!
My god, I feel like I'm on a nostalgia train and I don't want to get off. Sonic came back to his 2D roots, Crash came back with its remaster of the original games, now Spyro's returned, Bubsy, did I mention Spyro? So before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that this is basically the same 3 games for the most part. There's nothing I really need to say. It's like, okay, well, the story's changed or anything like that. So this review is mainly just going to be me discussing any differences I find between each of the games, and then I'm going to look at the games all together. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. Spyro controls really well. It's not the same as Spyro 1, but more like a mixture of 1, 2 and 3 combined. His charging still feels tight to control, his movement speed is relatively the same. The only issue I've been having is his gliding, specifically at the beginning. At the start of his glide, Spyro will drop a bit before gliding. You make a jump, you go to press the glide button thinking you'll make it at that height, but then he just drops and then descends. Not sure why it's like that, but I messed up quite a few times because of it. His flying does take a bit of getting used to. You can change the controls to be inverted for flying if need be. His ascent takes a bit, and I crashed into things on occasion because Spyro wasn't flying upwards enough. Apart from this, it's Spyro 1 to a T. Alright, so now I'm gonna list the changes I've found in all 3 games separately, then across all 3. In Spyro 1, the most notable change would be the looks of the dragons. All dragons have unique designs and their personality shines through more with the better voice acting. It makes you want to see and hear what they all have to say. Though we still have this.
Thank you for releasing me.
And my personal favourite.
Spyro, it's great to see you, but I gotta go.
Spyro 1 now has skill points. Skill points were an optional thing in the originals as opposed to collecting all of the collectibles. They were more for bragging rights more than anything. Little challenges you can complete in 2 and 3 would nab you an epilogue of some sorts. In Spyro 1 and in the other 2 games you get an art gallery, so that's pretty cool. The balloonists are all voiced now, which definitely threw me off the first time, and most dragons tend to fly away this time instead of just disappearing into nothing, which I much prefer. Moving on to Spyro 2 Riptos Rage. We talked about this, it's Gateway to Glimmer for us Europeans. God, you had one job, Toys for Bobs, 0 out of 10, worst remaster. Now when there is an orb mission, an orb will be indicated above the character's head, letting you know there's an orb to get here. The boss arenas feel, well, more like a boss arena. They were a lot brighter in the original, and here they are more dark and eerie, giving off that, oh shit, here comes a boss fight feel, if you know what I mean. Honestly, apart from the visuals, Spyro 2 is pretty faithful, and I couldn't see too much difference specifically. It's honestly still my least favourite of the 3. And now on to my favourite Spyro game, Year of the Dragon. Alright, how about we start with the other characters, shall we? Sheila controls feel slightly heavier on the ground, making her feel a tad slower, but overall still controls fine. With Sergeant Bird, I actually think they improved his flying. He now gains more forward momentum, which was my biggest problem with him in the original. His homing missiles seem more accurate too. Bentley is a bit faster now, which I am grateful for. I always felt like he was a bit too slow in the original. His club comes out much faster, and now they made his jump a tad higher, which again, much needed addition. Agent 9 functions almost the same. The difference is, now he is more like an actual third person shooter. He has a reticle at all times now, so you can aim with the right stick. But let's not forget the skateboard, the best character of all. So here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you guys, if you didn't like the skateboarding in the original Spyro Year of the Dragon, then I don't see you liking it here. Personally, I think it's worse. Not terrible, but worse. Let me explain. When moving it seems fairly fine, but don't ever jump unless off a ramp. For some reason, jumping in general halts your movement completely. When doing tricks, I swear you have to be much more precise, otherwise you're not landing that trick. Also, why is it so hard to get off the board? One of the best changes. They did it. I can't believe it. They made Bentley boxing easier. I actually like it now. That's it, I changed my mind. This is the best remaster ever. Alright, so let's look at the differences overall. Tom Kenny returns the voice of Spyro, but now he actually voices Spyro 1 as well as some new voice actors. When you enter a level, you can control Spyro in the loading screen. Does it do anything? No, not really, but it's neat. Stuart Copeland comes back to do the music with a new version for us to listen to. Overall, the soundtrack I think is pretty solid. Some may think are not as good as the original, but if you do prefer the original, you can switch between the Reignited and the original. This was a great addition, and it shows that they were trying to please as many people as possible. Now saving the best part of all. If you couldn't tell, these games are kinda damn beautiful. All of the choice of colors to the grass detail, the lighting making the levels pop, the skyboxes are actually backgrounds now. We have mountains or buildings in them. This game is so pretty that I want to marry it. I'm sorry Crash, but Spyro is my new love now. One of the best new additions they've added across all three games. Once you've exited the level, you can actually travel to that level or world via the start menu. This helps a lot in backtracking. You can see the love and attention this remaster has gotten, especially Spyro 1. But that's also a problem. Let me explain. I didn't really run into any glitches in Spyro 1 at all. It was a smooth playthrough. With 2 and 3, not so much. Let's just say I encountered a few glitches here and there through both my playthroughs, the one for this review and my live stream that I did. I won't show all of them here, but if you are curious on what I found, then make sure to check my Twitter. I'll link it in the description below. And from what I've seen from other people, some levels just straight up crashed when they entered. There are some things added, but there are also some things that weren't there that should have been, like in the original. Like for example, the scene when you entered the Tiki Lodge to do Sergeant Bird's mission, there's no scene talking to him. It does feel like, in my opinion, Spyro 2 and 3 weren't 100% polished. So hopefully they'll patch the bugs and touch up on anything else that's needed. Fun fact though, Sanzaro Games actually worked on Spyro 3 under Toys for Bob's supervision. They have worked on Sly games in the past and the Sonic Boom 3DS games, so they've worked on platformers before. It just needs, a bit of polishing, optimization here and there, and it will be on par quality wise as Spyro 1. It's great to see another one of my childhood video game characters make a return in this day of age. Hopefully this will introduce people to those who didn't grow up or haven't played Spyro before. And just like Crash, let's hope it leads to a new game. And let's hope that Spyro is here to stay. Welcome back Spyro, I missed you mate. If you haven't done so already guys, I would highly recommend giving Spyro Reignited Trilogy a try. Especially if you're a fan of Spyro the Dragon, and especially if you're a fan of platformers. It has a lot of charm, and Toys for Bob's have done a fantastic job with it. I love it, and the question for you guys is, what would you like to see next remastered? Let me know below. Thank you so much for watching guys. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next review.